3 valves out. Time to throw it in the trash. What's going on, guys? We are back with another video. If you saw the last video, we talked about turboing Turdzilla. Well, it's time. So if you guys aren't familiar, this is our 99 Mustang GT. We bought this when the channel was brand new, and I think we paid $1,500. I think that was actually kind of a lot. But it was a high mileage 2-valve. We did a lot with it. We blew it up. We 4-valve swapped it. I sold it. And then I bought it back as a roller, and the car kind of turned into a pile of crap. We landed on fixing it up and putting a 4.6 liter 3-valve out of an 08 Mustang GT. I think it sounds pretty cool. It's got cams. And we made it run on the stock 2-valve ECU with locked out cams and the 3-valve. And it has the footprint of basically a 2-valve. And today, we're gonna be turboing it in this car with a 2-valve turbo kit, and hopefully it works out. The first step for that is gonna be pulling the engine trans out. Well, I think you can install a turbo kit with the engine trans in. I think it's gonna be much easier if we just go ahead and drop it out. In the process of that, we're gonna take and scuff down this bay and paint it black, so that way this thing doesn't look like a pile of garbage anymore, and we'll go from there. It's not gonna be the show car, but it is gonna be functional. If we ever scratch or the bay or anything like that, we can just touch it up real easy. So we'll scuff it. We're gonna tape off everything. We're not gonna remove everything from the bay. This is kind of your down and dirty. Let's paint the bay, just make it look good, black, and call it, and go from there. First step is everything up top that needs to come out. We're gonna clear it out of the way, and we're gonna start the time lapse. We're gonna drop the K member through the bottom onto some pallets, so that way we can slide the whole engine and trans out of the way. We can start scuffing and cleaning and doing everything on the bay, and go from there. All right, and just like that, 3 valves out. Time to throw it in the trash. Just kidding. All right, so the game plan here is we gotta get the oil pan off, and we also gotta get the engine lifted up. I don't believe we need to touch the transmission, so we're gonna try to leave that connected, but we're gonna lift this up, get the oil pan off, so that way we can prep it for the oil drain. We also need to pull the long tube headers off and get the forward-facing headers on. And that's gonna be most of what we're doing over here. The K-member, again, doesn't look amazing, but should be good. If we do have to replace A-arms later, we can do that in car. It's not too big of a deal. Intake manifold off. That way we can lift this thing up, get to the oil pan, headers, start with the turbo kit. Then we're gonna move this out of the way and start prepping the engine bay. I'm gonna start with some scuffing and painting or taping off everything, plastic it off. The good thing is, as far as I can remember, yeah, the strut towers don't have any rust. There's nothing really bad structurally on this car. So towers where they would normally be gross and rusted, those all look good. So we're gonna get this prepped. Again, this is gonna be the simple job. You know, tape everything off and go to town with a spray can, or however Cody tells me to do it. But yep, we're just gonna cover up anything that's green. Well, boys, down the rabbit hole we go. Not too bad. We did a little bit more than I had originally planned. I originally planned to kind of keep the Hydro Boost in there, and then, well, one thing led to another, and we got pretty much an empty bay. There's a few things I might take off. I might go ahead and pull the caster camber plates off, even though I'm probably gonna paint those, but we're gonna do our best to basically paint this bay and make this thing look awesome. Now, I also picked up some little trinkets that's gonna make this thing look cool too. So we were able to get the forklift in here to lift the engine trans pallet out of the way. We got the bumper off, and you can see, I mean, this thing it's looking good. I'm really, really excited to make this thing look good. Now, check out Ford Racing black 3-valve valve covers. I think this is gonna look incredible. We do have the Ford Racing manifold. This is kind of like your Cobra Jet of the 3-valve. So we have that. We've always had that. We got the engine trans over here. We got the headers off, taped up. Bam! I gotta pull this engine up. So we're gonna lift it up and we're gonna pull the pan off. Obviously, we're gonna hope that there's no metal in there, but this thing runs great, so I think it's fine. We're gonna get the oil return fitting. I think we're gonna do it right here on the front side. It's usually where I do these turbo new edges. So yeah, we're making some freaking progress. So all the wiring is pretty much out of the way. We're gonna go ahead and basically hit everything. We're even gonna paint the front bar here. We're gonna paint the tubular bar. We're gonna paint the radiator support. Everything's gonna be black that you see that's green and this blue. We're gonna go ahead and tape plastic off everything here. We're gonna paint the hood hinges as well. We're just gonna try to hit everything. I think we're also gonna pop off what's left of the cowl. So we're gonna pull the cowl off and we're gonna pull the lower one off as well. Go start pressure washing, sanding, and go to town. I mean, we're gonna make this thing look good as we can with kind of a DIY job. Those of you guys who have been asking about OG, well, This is kind of a warm-up to OG. This is kind of a DIY engine bay painting. OG is going to get Scott rod panels. We're going to repair the rust in the towers, and we are going to be painting the bay, clear coating it, so proper paint, and that's going to be me and Cody. That's when I say we. This is something I said, hey Cody, give me the recipe for a DIY, you know, paint the bay and get her done and get her right. Get it looking good, not like a hack job like what has happened here, but without the extra steps of just kind of pro level, you know, paint gun and paint booth and full on prep. We're just gonna go black and make this thing look good. I'm excited for it. Hope you guys are excited for it. The Turdzilla build series lives on, and check out the next video because we're gonna be doing that DIY engine paint, and we're probably gonna, I think I'm gonna forklift the front here and kind of back this thing backwards. I could probably use the cherry picker, but I think the forklift will work. So let's put a chain around the front bar, that little tubular support. It should be able to lift the front of the car without getting too sketchy. So we're gonna test that out, make sure it is stable. We're gonna get it outside, start pressure washing and go a little crazy. Pressure wash, paint, and prep, paint, then start putting this thing back together. See you guys in the next one.